Good morning, grade 6 students. Welcome to your math class. Before we start our lesson, please prepare the following: your math textbook and your pen. Let's start our lesson. Are you ready? So our lesson for today is Lesson 15-1, Statistical Questions. Textbook pages 749 until 754. Our objective is to identify and write statistical questions. Let us first watch the video for our lesson.
Brittany is trying to write a statistical question about miles. She came up with 3 possibilities. How many feet are in a mile? How many miles are in a marathon? And to the nearest mile, how far do Brittany's classmates live from school? After reviewing her questions, Brittany realized there is only one correct answer for her first question. So her first question is not a statistical question. There is also only one correct answer for her second question. So her second question is also not a statistical question. However, Brittany knows that she lives farther away from school than at least 2 of her classmates. Since there can be a variety of answers to her third question, it is a statistical question. Now that Brittany has a good statistical question to ask, she continues gathering and recording answers from her classmates until she has a total of 20 responses. To display her data, Brittany makes a dot plot. She draws a number line to show the range of answers she received. She then labels the number line. She plots 1 dot for each response she received. And Brittany discovers that more classmates live only 2 miles away from school than any other distance, and that she is the only student who lives 6 miles away.
So as a recap, what are statistical questions? So statistical questions are questions that may have the possibility of having different answers. So let's have textbook page 749. Let us read this solve and share problem. Miss Jackson wrote a question on the board. Then she collected students' responses to the question and recorded them in a tally chart. What question could she have asked? Is there more than one possible response to the question? Explain. Okay, so this is the tally chart as shown below. You will know what kind of question was asked by looking at the title of the table. So here the title is the number of books read last month. So what would be the question that Ms. Jackson could have asked? So here Ms. Jackson could have asked, how many books did you read last month? And this question has more than one possible answer depending on who answers the question. Okay, so textbook page 749, also the look back part. Suppose Miss Jackson wants to know the amount of time her students spent outdoors the previous afternoon. What question might she ask each student in order to gather the data? So Miss Jackson could have asked, how many minutes did you spend outdoors after school yesterday? Okay, so let's discuss textbook page 750.
How can you identify and write statistical questions? Think about this question during the lesson. Mr. Borden asked his students a question and recorded the data in the table. Which of the following is a statistical question that Mr. Borden could have asked? What is the area of an 8 1/2 inch by 11-inch sheet of notebook paper? How many sheets of paper did you use last week? Did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report? A statistical question anticipates that there will be a variety of answers. What does it mean for a question to have a variety of answers? The question does not have one correct answer. The answer to the question depends on who responds. How can you tell by looking at the tally chart what the various responses were? The first column shows the various answers, or the different numbers of sheets of paper used. The second column tells how many students gave that response. The question, how many sheets of paper did you use last week, may be answered in various ways by Mr. Borden's students, so it is a statistical question. The questions, what is the area of an 8 1/2 inch by 11-inch sheet of notebook paper, and did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report, have only one correct answer, so they are not statistical questions. You can display the data in the tally chart in a bar graph. How is the bar graph related to the tally chart? Explain. The bar graph and tally chart display the same information. The numbers from the first column of the chart are the labels on the horizontal axis of the bar graph. The numbers from the second column of the chart determine the height of each bar. Now you know how you can identify and write statistical questions.
Let's answer textbook page 750. Is the question, what was the high temperature on March 8th of last year, a statistical question? Explain. So this question is not a statistical question since there will only be one temperature as the response. Textbook page 751. Question 1. Write a statistical question that involves movies your classmates saw last month. Then describe how to display the data. So the question here will be, which movies did my classmates see last month? And how could you display the data gathered after asking them those questions? So I could use a bar graph to show how many of my classmates saw each of the movies named. Okay, question 2. Mr. Borden wants to know how far his students live from school. What statistical question could he ask himself before gathering this data? So how far does my students live from school? That would be the question that Mr. Borden will ask. Okay, question 3 to 6. Tell whether each question is statistical or not statistical. So let us review first. A statistical question anticipates that there will be a variety of answers. And if a question is deterministic or anticipates an exact answer, therefore it is not a statistical question. So question 3. In which month is your birthday? So this question is a kind of question which anticipates a variety of answers. So therefore this question is statistical. Question 4. Does Sue wear glasses? So this question is only answerable by either yes or no. So there will only be one exact answer here. So therefore, this question is not statistical. Question 5. Who is the current President of the United States? This question is also answerable by only one exact answer. Therefore, this question is not statistical. Number 6. How tall are the students in grade 6? So of course, this kind of question is answerable by different kinds of answers because students in grade 6 has different heights. The data we will be gathered here is different kinds of data, not an exact number. So therefore, this question is statistical. For independent practice, number 7 to 9. Of course, you're going to do this on your own. You can pause the video. But after you answered question 7 to 9, let us check your work. Okay, number 7. Number of pets classmates own. So we are going to write statistical question you could ask to gather the data on each topic for 7 to 8. So number of pets classmates own is, you can ask them, how many pets do you own? Number 8. Heights of different household plants. So you can ask your classmates, how many inches tall is each plant? Okay, question 9. Kim asked her classmates, how many siblings do you have? She collected the following responses: 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 5, 5, 1, 3, 1, 0, 2, 4, 1, 3, 0. Make a dot plot to display the data. So what is a dot plot? So a dot plot is a type of line plot that uses dots to represent data values above a number line. So here, since we are talking about the siblings, so let us write the title. So the number of siblings per classmate. And look at the data that she gathered. Those are 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 5, 5, 1, 3, 1, 0, 2, 4, 1, 3, 0. So based on those numbers, we can make our line plot. So this is the line, and of course we're going to put a meaning or the title for that line. What is it all about? These are the number of siblings. And as you can see, the numbers ranges from 0 and the highest is 5. So our line plot will start from 0. Of course, next is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the highest response was 5. So now let us check. We are now going to make the dot plot using dots. So let us first count how many responses were 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are going to make 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how many responded 1? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 responses. So we will make 6 dots. Okay, so these are 6 dots. Now, how many responded 2? So 1, 2, 3. So 3 responses, so 3 dots. Now, how many responded 3 siblings? So 1, 2, 3. So 3 dots. How many responded 4? So 1. Okay, so only 1. So that means only 1 dot. How many responded? 5. So 1, 2. Okay, so 2 responses, so 2 dots. Okay, now let us make textbook page 752. Okay, so in number 13, Miss Williams asked each student in her class these two questions. The first one, how many digits are in a phone number, including the area code? Right? And the next question is, in a typical week, how many days do you spend some time watching television? So which of these questions do you think is a statistical question? So if you take a look at number 1 question, how many digits are in a phone number, including the area code? Do you think this is a statistical question? So this is not a statistical question since this answer only has one correct answer. So it's like Saudi Arabia. How many digits are in the telephone number of Saudi Arabia? So if we are going to check a mobile number, so that will be 966 for the area code and some digits in the mobile number of Saudi Arabia. So only one answer is correct in this question. So what about question 2? In a typical week, how many days do you spend time watching television? So it's either if I will answer maybe in 1 week I'm watching for all the days of the week. If someone will answer, she will answer in 1 week I only um, watch TV for 5 days. So here the answer will be different. So the second question is the statistical question since the answers may be different. So part A, which of the questions Miss William asked is a statistical question? Explain. So the second question is a statistical question since students can watch television anywhere between 0 and 7 days per week, so different answers might be given. Okay, part B. The result of the statistical question Miss Williams asked are shown below. Make a bar graph to display the data. Okay, now these are the numbers or the results of the days the students were watching TV in a week. So these are the different responses. First, you need to look at the responses. The smallest number is 0 and the biggest number is 7. So from those numbers, we are now going to make the data on this table. So let's start with the title, the weekly television watching. So let us first write the row as the number of days. So as I said, the smallest number is 0, so start from 0 going to the biggest number, which is 7, meaning 7 days a week of watching TV. And now the number of students who responded for each will be written on this part, and we'll always start with 0 or no response until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 responses. Okay, now let's check or let's make the bar graph now. Since this is a bar graph, we are going to use bars. So how many has chosen 0? So it's 2. So 0 and we have 2 responses. So of course our bar graph will be on the number 2. How many responses for 1? So that is 3 responses. So this is the bar graph. Okay, how many responses for 2? So that will be 5 responses. So that will be go to 5. Okay, how many responded 3? So 4 responses. So this will be until 4. How many responded 4? So we have 3 responses. How many responded for 5 days a week? Only 1. How many responded 6 days a week? Only 1. And how many responded every day of the week or 7 days a week? So only 7. So this is now our bar graph for those data gathered above. So that is the end of our lesson for today. I hope you understand our lesson. If you have questions, don't hesitate to send us the message. Thanks, everyone.